Welcome back to Both Sides of the Barricade. We have a very special guest this week, Miss Renforshort, aka Lauren, and she's a singer-songwriter signed to Interscope Records. She released her debut EP, Teenage Angst, earlier this year, which I love. It's one of my favorites. And she released three other singles since then, including Afterthoughts, which just came out, and it's on the Disney original movie soundtrack for Clouds. Um, and she's featured in Coupe de Main, Interview Magazine, V Magazine. She's all over. If you'd like to say anything about yourself, go ahead.
Thank you. That was a good introduction.
Thank
I'm Lauren, aka Ren for short. I don't really know what to say about myself, but I make music and I enjoy it, and I'm very happy to be here.
Oh, thank you.
And so, yeah.
So the first question is how we met. And we pretty much we haven't met in person. Some of the other
Yeah.
guests that I have, I've seen them live, that kind of thing. I was supposed to see you live right before quarantine. I'm so sad. But
Yeah.
yeah, we kind of just met through social media. Is that
Yeah.
correct? Yeah.
Yes, this is correct.
Yes. So how would you describe your relationship with your fans then? Because I mean, I'm a fan, but you're the rest of your fans.
Yeah, so it's like it's the best thing ever because it's like it feels like it's just like a friend that's like super supportive because like your friends are all supportive to a certain extent. They're not like, you know, it's like you can't expect your friends to be like fans of your music because
Yeah.
like I don't know, some of my friends like primarily 70s music or like primarily like I'm like not sorry, this light is really annoying. I'm like not expecting, my good friends to be like fans, but I'm expecting them to, like they're supportive. But like with fans, it's like most of the people that, are fans of my music are around my age, which is like super cool. So there's kind of like this connection that we have because of that. And it just makes it like it makes it very easy to connect with them
Yeah.
because like I'm fans of people as well, and I understand like the culture. You know what I mean? There's definitely like a culture behind it, and I understand it. So
For sure.
yeah.
So would you say that your fans are very similar to you, other than music taste, or wise, you have a lot of things in common? Do you talk to them in DMs or anything?
Yeah. I do talk to a bunch of them. Um, I like as much as I can,
Oh,
because my DMs are like a weird split of like just like creepy, weird
yeah.
men, and like sweet little girls and like
Aw,
sweet boys and whatever.
yeah.
So it's kind of, you know, I like to spare myself sometimes from like seeing the disgusting DMs that I get.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I don't know. I have a lot of my like fans
Hmm.
in my primary, and I don't know, like on my Instagram, I have like a primary, a general, and
Yeah.
like
And groups of
whatever.
friends.
So
Yeah.
I keep a lot of them in primary so that I get notifications and like if there's like something or like someone that I know is just like creepy,
Yeah.
I'll keep them in general
Smart.
because I
Yeah.
just don't get notifications from them being
That's
like,
so
oh, trade you panties for feet. Like, no.
Yes, the life of being a young woman on social media with a platform. Love to see it. Love to see it. So you said you can relate to, fan culture as well. Can you describe your relationship with music when you were growing up and the artists that inspired you?
Yeah, so when I was younger, my parents were both really into music. They had us, playing music, like taking lessons when we were really young. Because it's kind of like my mom's family was very into music. My dad's family wasn't. It's just like a weird cultural difference, but my mom's family really was, and so she wanted her kids to like do the same thing. My dad's also really into music now. Like he can't really play music, but we grew up like Sunday mornings, kind of like crawling into their bed and listening to records, like Bob Dylan records, Joni Mitchell records, like kind of like he has like a crazy collection.
Yeah.
And we'd watch like concert tapes. The big one was Amy Winehouse.
Mm.
Um, so we'd watch a lot of that. And then as I grew up, I kind of like I had the ability to like kind of venture out on my own and like experience the music that I wanted to, or like that I found.
Yeah.
And there was a bunch of people that I loved growing up. Like so I'm a Selena Gomez stan. She's
Fair.
like literally like the only or one of the only people that I would like literally do anything for.
Hmm.
But also like one of the like probably the biggest musical inspiration for me that I found growing up was Jake Bugg, and
Hmm.
um I just like there's just something about his music that from a young age really like got me.
Yeah.
And I'm just like I any day would drop anything to meet Selena Gomez.
Yeah. Well, you're label mates with her now, aren't you?
No, I know. I'd literally do
Oh, it'll
anything.
happen. It'll happen then.
I hope. I hope.
Interscope, make it happen.
But once someone's like, "Oh yeah, you can meet Jake Bugg," I'd be like, "No, I don't want to.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want to jeopardize what like he's just music for me. He's
Yeah.
just music for me, and I can't meet him because I don't
No.
want anything to change.
No, that's true. I hear people say
It
that all
really
the
does.
time. Yeah.
Like it really does. Like it does change things if you meet someone and they're like a complete twat. Like
Yeah.
you don't, you know, you don't like you won't listen to their music anymore,
I
or
know.
even it kind of like you lose something once you
Yeah.
meet. You know what I mean?
Yeah. If you have like a weird experience with someone, like I think
Yeah.
you're just like, I don't
Yeah.
know.
I can't listen to your music anymore. I'm so sorry. I'd love to
Yeah.
support, but I can't.
No, like that's even happened to me before. Like it wasn't even like a bad experience. It was just like I ran into someone at a festival. I won't say who because
Yeah.
blah blah blah. But like I ran into like an artist that I liked at a festival and they were just like odd to me. Like I don't know. Like I think it was just I was in like a more like exclusive section. They had like a front row like section and I bought like a pass to be front row just because I wanted to see like Travis Scott up close for no reason.
Yeah.
I didn't want to get in like the yeah, I didn't want to get in the way of like all the like he has insane fans. So I was
Yeah.
like, I don't want to deal with that. So I
Yeah.
was there with a couple friends and like I saw someone in that area as well. And I like went up to them and I was like, oh my God, like, hi, I saw your set earlier. And I think they were upset that there weren't that many people at their set. And they were kind of like, oh, well, you don't need that front row pass for me. Like, I was just like, that's a little weird. Like, so it was just like, I think they were just having a bad day. And I can totally get that. So like, I didn't take it personally by any means, but I can totally understand what you mean where I was like, ooh, I was a little put off for a second because I was
Yeah.
like, oh, they don't want to talk to me. I'm gonna move
That's like
away.
one of my biggest fears is that like my sense of humor is not funny to a lot of people. My sense of humor is very like, do you know, it's like it's kind of like very sarcastic, but
Yeah.
it's also just like kind of like it's just all a joke. It's all
Yeah.
a joke. I'm like, oh, there's like I'm the best. Like
Yeah.
I'm the best. Like no, like self-deprecating, but like
Yes. Yeah.
if you hear it, it's like no. So I have to be careful around other people so that I don't sound like that because this light is so fucking annoying. I'm sorry. Sorry, but like this light is
Oh
just
my
so
God.
annoying.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry.
Oh, frick. Is that annoying you? Like it's really annoying me actually, to be
Oh my
clear.
God. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going right here. Sorry, I have
Perfect.
please view right now.
I like
So
the plant.
yeah, it's like a IKEA house plan, which I
Love
don't
it.
love, but it came with Airbnb, so I got to keep it. Um, yeah, so I that's like a big fear of mine, but you can just tell when people are like just dicks, like
Yeah.
it's like it's the tea behind it all is that the people that are really assholes are the more like how does like B list or like C list.
Yeah.
And the reason like why they're not at A list because they're all so talented, not all of them, but a lot of them are so talented and they
Yeah.
can't be there because they're not likable. Like they're
Yeah.
just nice people.
No, that
So
is true.
it's hard to like support people who aren't, dope
Yeah.
or like, at the least bit like fine,
Yeah. Well,
So
And as I like when I was a kid and I was on like Tumblr looking at like artists and they were so like unattainable at that time, like I didn't even think about it. I wasn't like watching interviews and being like, "Oh, I don't like how they act," like whatever. I was just like it was just the music like you said.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so now that I'm older and I'm like more in that realm and I meet a lot more artists, I'm like, "Oh, they're just normal." I mean, for me it's like they're normal people because I really haven't had many like bad experiences,
Yeah.
but I mean, it's definitely true. Like it kind of takes away that like unattainable sense because when you're talking to them, it's like, oh, they're just another person, which is good a lot of the time. But I know what you mean. Like it can
Yeah.
definitely ruin their music or kind of like taint it in a way.
For sure, yeah, 100%. And there's people that I've met that have been literally the nicest people like on the planet that I like wasn't that much of a fan of before, and then
Yeah,
after I've like become such a huge fan of them
yeah,
because they're just like caring and like good people.
yeah.
So it's not,
Oh,
it's
that's the best. Like, have you met anyone like artist wise that you were a fan of that like was so nice, like you had like a great experience with?
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Like one of the nicest people, like okay, Machine Gun Kelly is literally one of the nicest people
He
ever.
seems really nice. Like I've watched
He
his interviews.
is
He just looks so nice.
so nice. Like he's very intimidating because,
The
he's tall.
tattoos, he's really tall. Yeah.
Um, but I shit you not, he's literally one of the nicest people like he was very nice and he was very like just like caring. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's
Have you seen The Dirt, that movie that he's
oh
in?
yeah. Yeah.
I'm literally like I'm not kidding. I think I watched it like 6 times within like the first like month it came out. I was obsessed for no reason. Like
He's he's a different creature.
yep.
Yeah.
Yep, yep, yep.
He's also a really nice person, which is super dope.
Oh my God, my friends are gonna be like, you brought up The Dirt, like because I'm like so obsessed with that movie, and they're gonna be like, how did you find a way to bring that up?
No, it was relevant. It
Yeah.
was relevant. You're good. Don't even worry about
So I guess like okay, then we'll talk about like how you got discovered and signed as an artist. Because were you writing music, I'm sure, and like putting it up before you got discovered, or did you kind of just fall into that?
So I have like a very kind it's like it's weird how everything fell into place.
Yeah.
So like my dad's really good friend worked so there's this big like Canadian um media company. Um it would be like kind of like AT&T in the States or
Hmm.
like do you guys have TELUS?
Doesn't sound familiar.
Okay,
Yeah.
no, I got confused. Okay, so like AT&T in the States, I guess that's the only one I know.
Yeah.
Um, but here it's called Bell, and he worked at Bell. He worked on like short films and stuff, or like
Oh,
film,
cool.
whatever. Um, and so my management worked under Bell as well, but they were on the music side. And they had like this kind of creative incubator thing. So it was like studios and writing rooms and just like kind of, but they were like artist managers. So he knew them through that. And I was making music at this point, but I was how like 13 and I didn't know like anything like I didn't know what I was doing in the slightest like it was me and my mom and
Hmm.
neither of us knew what we were doing. So I had made a bunch of music, but it wasn't right for me. It was very like bubblegum poppy, like straight up the middle pop, like not what I wanted even at that age.
Yeah.
So my dad's friend introduced me to my managers Riley and Chris, just kind of like for them to assess what I was doing and give me some help, like putting shit on like Apple and Spotify,
Yeah.
whatever. And then it kind of ended up that they were just like helping me. So they just helped me. And for like 2 years from that point, I didn't put a song out. I was just working on finding what I wanted my sound to be. And then the first song I put out 2 years after that, or yeah, I guess it was, yeah, I was 16. So probably started working them when I was 14. Was Waves.
Yeah.
And um, that song I was like, yeah, this is kind of like what I want to do, I think. And then you never it takes a long time to find what you want to do.
Yeah.
And so after that was when um like labels started reaching out to me, the first song. And at that point it was obviously like less sorry, less like legit conversations. Like it was
Yeah.
like I like this song, but I only had one song out, so like what do you like can't really, tell anything from
Yeah.
that. And then a little bit later, I was supposed to put out a song, and then we wrote Mind Games, and I was like, I know I like this song, I want to put it out, and everyone was like, you can't just say you want to put a song out 3 weeks before we have to, get it like before it's supposed to be out, because it takes 2 weeks to like
Yeah.
stir through the system, blah blah blah. And I was like, I don't give a fuck, push it back, like this is what I want. And um, that song ended up like doing pretty well for
Yeah.
like at the beginning of um my career. And so the labels all came back, and then I had a bunch of conversations with a bunch of different places, and oh my God, it was a long process. It was a
I'm
long,
sure.
long process. Like, think about how I started the conversations after waves and made my decision right before like I put out IDC, which I just want to check the timeline, because that's like a long ass time. And
Yeah.
I don't like I don't know. It's like that. I don't know. Ugh, my fucking Wi-Fi is fucked. Okay, never mind. But it was like it took a long time.
But like easily over, would you say like over a year?
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably yeah, something like that. It's just really hard to like to know, because all these places have like big artists and
Yeah.
like cool shit going on, but you don't really know. But there's something that like kept pulling me towards Interscope. I was like, this
Yeah.
is cool.
Yeah.
Like I'm saying, it's cool. Like most, like I love, like their roster is
Oh,
artists that I love.
yeah. Same.
Like, and I was like that, and there's so much creative freedom, and like they honestly don't give a fuck about like, how you like. They don't restrict anything you do.
Yeah.
They're just like, let me help you.
And that's huge because like other labels I hear they'll be like, you have to dye your hair this color. You like can't
Yeah,
do
and I've like had that experience with other places, and like because I've spoken to a bunch of labels, and it's like this is you have to do this blah 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 blah. This is the exact thing you need to post with this exact blah blah blah. And
yeah,
you're
that too.
like,
Oh,
I can't have that shit in my life,
yeah.
because then who the fuck am I? Like, who am I? I'm
Yeah.
not myself anymore. It's
Yeah.
not. This isn't authentic. I'm
Yeah.
not.
I hate to sound like an Interscope stan, but I do love Interscope like so much. Like their roster is insane and like everything I read about them, like I just think they're the coolest label. And
Yeah.
so like and I know like the artists love it there too. It's like one of the only labels where I like hear artists being like, "No, I don't hate my label." Like,
Yeah.
And
And
so like
what I felt like that's how I felt.
yeah.
Everyone's so fucking dope here. Like, really cool people. And like,
Yeah.
yeah, the roster, I was like, fuck, I love this roster. Like,
Yeah.
these artists have like stayed,
Hmm.
they've like
Yeah.
renewed their contract, which is like kind of a big thing, Because after a certain point, people are gonna be like, here's $12 million. I don't actually know, but like a ton of money.
Yeah.
But like, they're like, no, I like it here. You know what I mean? Which is like
Oh,
super dope.
yeah,
And
that is amazing. Sounds like
yeah,
you made the right choice, which is good.
yeah,
I mean,
I really feel
yeah.
like I did.
So, yeah, like I felt so bad because when quarantine started, it really felt like you were like about to take off. And I was like so mad because I wanted to see you. And I was just like, she just put out her EP, like, and now like we're quarantined. Like thinking back on it, obviously we didn't know at that time, but looking back on it now, I'm like, no words. Like it's gonna be forever until like she gets to tour, which is so unfortunate. Like,
It
how did
was
that?
really annoying.
Yeah,
Like, so annoying. I just finished, like, I did like an Interscope showcase, and then I toured with 2 Feet, and I just gone back, and I was like, I'm so exhausted. I was out of school for like a month, and I was like, I'm like so exhausted, and like literally I had a week at home, and then through like my headliner shows, and I was like, oh, when quarantine happened, it was like, this is gonna be just 2 weeks, and I was like, okay, a 2 week break, like I can fuck with that, like
Yeah.
fine with a 2 week break, and there's nothing I regret more now than wanting to rest.
Yeah.
Like, I know there's nothing I could have done, but like, it's one of the more unfortunate things that have happened in my career.
Yes.
Uh,
I'm sure many can say that.
yeah, and I was like, when my EP came out, I was like, fuck. I wasn't like, I remember that night, and
Hmm.
I like just I was kind of like very upset because of everything that had happened, and I felt like I put so much work into this project that like nothing really was gonna like come of it.
Yeah.
I fell asleep before the EP was released because it was like, I'm like just too I don't want to be awake when this happens because
Oh.
I'm so stressed about it. And fucking everyone called me, and my mom ran into me and was like, "Why the fuck are you sleeping? Like your EP's coming out finally. Like what are you doing?" And I was like, and then I just started crying, and I was like, "I don't want fucking. I'm mad. I'm sad. I'm upset. Like this isn't what I wanted for it. Like."
Yeah.
Fuck, it's so long on it. I was just like kind of pissed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I felt like
Well, and I
whatever.
mean, people loved it. Like, I mean, everyone that I know who like listened to it, they were like, "Wait, this slaps." Because I think a lot of people are really into like the style that you have. It's not like pop pop. It's like it has those like rock influences, and it has like an Avril Lavigne type, sound, which people are really like wanting back. So I think you're like hitting that, and people loved the EP. Like, obviously, I was sad that I could not see it live, but one day I will.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
So what are you looking forward to then when things do kind of hopefully come back soon? Like not like soon, but eventually.
enough. Live shows, dude. Like
Yeah.
it's so rude that the world gave me a taste of touring
Mm-hmm.
the live world, and then it was like, yeah, fuck you no more. Like that was annoying. That
Yeah.
was so annoying. It's all I want back. It's literally like there's not many things that are more fun than that.
I
There
know.
are. There's
Yeah.
just
I'm really excited because like once I graduate, like hopefully like I kind of want to do a little bit of everything. I don't really have like a specific section of the industry that I'm into, but I definitely want to like go on a tour, whether I'm like as a road manager or just kind of like an assistant to the artist. Like I don't really care what I'm doing. I just kind of want to experience that
no,
at
that's
least
just
once.
so fun. It's
Yeah.
like so fire, and it's just like annoying that like as fun as it is to like go see a show, think of that like times 10.
Yeah. I was gonna say like how does it compare to like going
Yeah.
to shows and
It's
then being the
not even
person?
comparable.
Yeah.
It's not even comparable. Like it's just like there's something so like fucked up about you being in a foreign country and people like knowing you and like
Yeah. Oh my
singing
God.
along to like your shit. It's like weird. It's
Yeah.
like a weird thing that's like it's just it's crazy. It's crazy.
So I mean I'm assuming you'll have like possibly even like another EP or like project out before touring starts again. But what are
Yeah.
you looking forward to aside from touring even like what are you looking forward to once things come back?
Um,
Like where do you envision your career going as an artist? I mean, I kind of already asked about looking
yeah,
forward, but
no,
sorry. Yeah.
I want everything to kind of move naturally. Like
Hmm.
whatever happens, I can't, force anyone to like my shit or like whatever.
Yeah.
So, whatever happens, happens, and kind of keeping like just working as hard as I can
Yeah.
because that's all that's gonna do it. So just working as hard as I can and making sure that, you know, like still vibing and like
Yeah.
around me still vibing and like we're all, you know, feeling good about everything.
Hmm.
Um, I'm excited to like not have to do Zoom sessions anymore.
Oh yeah.
I'm excited
Every
for
artist I talk to, they're like, I hate Zoom sessions so
but
much.
they're so dreadful.
Yeah.
not a single person that likes them, so I don't understand why anyone does them.
Yeah.
Like, obviously I understand why, but like, why all the time?
Yeah.
Like, no one wants to do it. It's impossible to write a song over a Zoom session. Like,
Yeah.
it's fucking hard. It takes like 5 hours, 4 or 5 hours to write a song. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. No, the only thing I can compare that to is like my Zoom classes, which
Yeah.
are not fun. I don't enjoy them. I would just rather have everything like put online. I do the assignments on my own time and like send it back in. Like I don't need to be sitting on Zoom and listening to a lecture. I
Yeah.
hate that. But yeah, like at least that's only like max 3 hours.
Yeah.
It's like the Zoom sessions, you don't know when they're gonna go. Like
Yeah.
still. So
It's so hard to fucking not be there anymore, but you can't.
I know.
Because it's just, it's not that I don't like, I love sessions, but I love in-person sessions. But Zoom sessions, for some reason, I don't like.
Yeah. I can't
It's,
blame you.
yeah,
It's
it's one
just
of the fun things that's like made less fun by,
yeah, it doesn't feel as personal. Like even this, like I wish I could be doing this in person. You know,
yeah,
I might not be able to get every single person if they're on the West Coast, like in person, but it's unfortunate that I don't even have like the option because I feel
it's
like
so,
it's
you
yeah,
don't actually understand who, like, you don't know who the person is.
yeah,
You're seeing them in 2 dimensions. Like, you don't
yeah,
know who they are. It actually, like, makes a huge difference.
it does. Yeah, especially writing, like when you're writing such personal stuff, like and you're like telling your life story online or like you're
With someone you
saying
just,
that, it's just it's hard to get that like real authenticity when you're
yeah,
not in person explaining it to someone. But what are you gonna do? Unfortunately.
can't do anything.
Yeah. So I have some fan questions for you.
Yeah.
The first one is who would you most like to collaborate with?
Oh,
Dream collab.
okay. Um, so I know I said that I wouldn't want to like meet him or anything, but Jake Bug's one of my dream collabs. Also B, I like
Yeah.
I'm obsessed with. So B is one of them. And then like Dave Grohl and Flea from Red Hot Chili Peppers. I think that like
That'd
that
be
just
sick.
like a fun bass like whatever or like a Dave Grohl, you know,
Yeah.
drums. But those are like kind of like my top. Also Harry Styles, but I think those are for some interesting, you know, other reasons. No,
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Like literally just love his music.
Yeah.
So
I mean, wouldn't be able to blame you
yeah.
either way, but
Yeah.
love him in this house. Um, Another one is how involved are you in the visual aspect of your music, like videos and artwork?
Oh, I am. That's one of my favorite parts. So I am super involved. I for the Afterthoughts video, it's not out yet, but I wrote the treatment for that. And it's actually like this crazy video. It's like I just shot it. It's fucking nuts. Um, I like all the like lyric videos. I find like kind of like small artists
Hmm.
to draw up the video for me because like small artists don't
I
have
love
like
that. Yeah,
them kind
supporting
of
small artists is great.
yeah, so that's like one thing that it was harder to do for Afterthoughts because it was such a short timeline, so we had to do something else for that, but for the most part that's what we do. um yeah, like I have like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of mood boards on Pinterest, like just of every creative, every little creative thing you could think about. So very involved in the creative. It's one of my favorite parts.
Yeah.
I love that shit. I eat, like, love it. So
Yeah, that would be
yeah,
mine too, honestly. If I was an artist, I don't have musical ability, but if I was an artist, that's what I would do because oh my God.
yeah,
I make mood boards and vision boards just for fun, like
yeah.
drawings.
It's so fun. It's fun. It's really fun. So yeah.
Okay. And then this is similar to like dream collab, but what would be your dream lineup for a show, like two openers and a headliner? I guess just like I don't even know if like they're saying like if you were involved with it, but I guess you can take that either way, like whether it's just three artists that you like or
I'm gonna do like a lineup of artists that I so once again, I'm gonna do artists that I haven't seen before live just because I feel like I'm just gonna do the people that I like really want to
Yeah.
see. So I've seen Beatles, so I'm not gonna say her for that reason, but I'd say probably Jake Bug again. Sorry about that.
No problem.
Um, um, probably, probably Mitski, and then, yeah, and then Harry Styles.
It's a good lineup. I would go.
Not ever. I was supposed to, but we all know how that turned out.
Yes, well.
Yeah.
Amy's a queen. I had a big like Amy Winehouse kick like a while back, and I was just like I could not listen to anything else. I like
Yeah.
watched the documentary again. I was just like obsessed.
I grew up on her. My dad was like the biggest Amy Winehouse stan ever. Like he was literally like in love with her.
Yeah.
So I grew up like really with her
Yeah.
in my life, which was like
I don't
surprising.
yeah, I don't think I've seen any of the artists that you named. Well, I saw Mitski open for Lord, but it was like before I really like knew Mitski's music, so it was like I couldn't really appreciate it.
Yeah,
Um, and then yeah, Harry. I honestly don't know how I haven't seen Harry yet, but
yeah. Was that like a dead or alive question or alive? Because
whatever you want, like just
hey,
dream.
let's just make it alive because I'm gonna regret my answer if it was dead or alive.
Okay.
So, alive.
Okay, and then the last one from fans. What is the best concert you've ever been to, in terms of experience and or stage presence?
So bet you weren't expecting this one, but Selena Gomez, I have my eyes out. One of the best concerts ever. The best concert I've ever been to, though. Oh wait, Fleetwood Mac was really good, but that's not it. It was Tame Impala live at Budweiser. It was
I am
so
so, I am so mad. I was supposed to see them this year too. Like they were playing Gov Ball, and I was like, oh my God, I finally get to see Tame Impala. Like I just know that their live show is insane.
it was fucked up good. It was so good. Okay, my top like for performance and like nostalgia purposes,
Mhm.
it was like the other good one I saw was like in that month I saw both like the Tame Impala concert and KG Elephant in that month. I grew up like obsessed with KG Elephant, the
Same
Elephant
thing
like
with Cage.
literally fucking I cried so many times.
Yeah.
So many times. It was also at Budweiser. There's something like so Budweiser is like a stage in Toronto and it's an
Mhm.
outdoor stadium. And there's like a beach and then like an outdoor stadium and there were thousands and thousands of people like I've never like ever seen
Wow.
that many people and because it goes there's like a whole arena and then there's like like the whole grass field so
Yeah.
it's like fucking crazy and I'm just like was so emotional and he came into the audience and he literally walked right by me and I was like okay cool
Like time to collapse. But yeah, I Cage the Elephant too. I was supposed to see them at like Firefly, which is in like Delaware.
yeah
And I was so upset. There were like weirdly so many like nostalgic people playing that. Like Group Love was playing, Neon Trees. I was like, no words. I missed out on like
yeah
such a good like nostalgic lineup. But
yeah
again, whatever. It'll come back. Like I just have to keep telling myself that.
yeah
Um, and then I have a couple questions that I thought of. So, you're on a lot of up and coming like artists to watch type lists, including mine. Who would you say is on yours? Because I noticed you follow a lot of like smaller artists that I follow as well.
yeah
I'm wondering.
so I would say Chloe Lilac. I like literally like yeah.
Love
She's
her.
yeah, just like an angel and she's like so talented and her music's so good. Ryan Woods, who's like he only has 2 songs out right now, but also a great person. Makes like in every single song he's ever played for me, I'm like literally been like this is the best song.
Yeah.
Um, one moment.
We're
um,
processing.
Yeah, I'm like I'm slow sometimes. Um, my brain is like half asleep, I think. So,
Blame you.
I think like Anna Sophia is a really good friend of mine, and
Oh
she's like
yeah.
so talented.
Yeah.
Um, love her music. else like up and coming that I'm
Or
trying
even
to
just like
think.
smaller artists
Oh,
that you like.
yeah. I'm like thinking of people. I'm like, wait, they're not that small. I would say, fuck, what's his name? I was literally, oh yeah, Curtis Waters.
Yeah.
He's super cool, super cool. Um, oh fuck, I can't think of anyone else.
That's a good list. I mean,
No, yeah, I
yeah.
know, like have forgotten
I
someone.
know. I feel the same way. Like when people ask me to recommend stuff, I'm like, this one. And then I'm like, oh my
Yeah,
God, I should have said this too. Like, but it
this,
happens. If you think of any more, just let me know.
yeah,
Okay, so another one, a lot of your songs capture a coming of age nostalgia, which is reminiscent of like 90s and 2000s films. And I was wondering if you had any movies that inspired your songwriting or image. I did read that Scott Pilgrim inspired one of yours, so
yeah. So that was like more nostalgic. That was my that was like the first movie I remember seeing in theaters.
really?
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. I don't like. I can't remember. Oh, maybe it was Over the Hedge or something. I don't know, but I
That
don't
movie's a
remember.
classic. I don't care.
Yeah, period. Uh, there's just some sort of like I don't know, just like that coming of it, like Perks being a wallflower, like Juno, like the coming of age kind of
Yeah.
like vibey shit. But then there's also like I'm really into horror, um, but I'm also into like how would you describe it? Like fantasy horror, like Guillermo del Toro,
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's
like
fantasy. Or like I guess supernatural maybe in some ways, but
yeah, it's like it's more like kids horror, but it's still like I don't even know. Like kind
yeah.
of super. I don't fucking know.
You have
So
favorites, like favorite horror movies? I love
yeah,
horror, so
yeah. Okay, so this is like kind of an unpopular opinion, but I love the Conjuring series.
oh
I
no,
just
that one's really good.
it's
Like,
just well made.
yeah,
They're just well made, which is so rare for like horror movies. I like I see. I wouldn't call this like a horror movie, but like Pan's Labyrinth. It's kind of like
I
whatever.
love that movie. It is kind of though. Like, it's
Yeah,
definitely creepy. Like, I
yeah.
would say that's horror.
Yeah, I went to the Guillermo del Toro exhibit at the AGO twice, and or like three times, like a bunch of times, and just because they had all the like statues and shit from Pan's Labyrinth, and I was like, sick. Um, uh, what else? I I don't mind the Insidiouses that much. I don't mind them. I
Yeah,
like they're not my favorite. I like I can you know work with them, but
yeah,
I also like I like the Saw movies. I
yeah.
like this Chainsaw Massacre. Like, but those aren't really like the horror. Like those are more like I classify those as like thrillers for some reason.
Yes, yeah, that's true.
Then there's also like zombie movies that I love, but I don't categorize those as zombie movies. I
Yeah,
mean horror movies because I don't know why. I like horror movies are just supernatural for me.
yeah,
Like
I
slasher
agree.
movies and like slasher movies are like slasher movies slash
Mhm.
thrillers. You
Yeah.
know.
I like the classic ones. Like, I've just been watching a ton because it's October and I have like a
Yeah.
list that I'm getting through. I like the classic horror movies, like The Shining, The Exorcist, that kind of
Yeah. Oh, period.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And then
Forgot.
like the best horror movies that I've seen in the past like 10 years, like new ones. I mean, like Ari Aster's like Hereditary and Midsummer.
Oh, okay.
They're classics.
Okay. Okay. Hear me out. Midsummer was so good.
Yeah.
Like, so good. Hereditary, I couldn't get through. I like it. I was so bored watching it.
Oh my, it's bored.
I
Wow.
know.
I mean, like,
I don't know why. I've only met like two other people that have felt the same way about that movie as me, like horror fans. I just couldn't get through it. Like,
wow.
like it's like very well made, like
Mhm.
high budget, like cinematography is like beautiful, like
Yeah.
it's all great, but I just couldn't get through it.
That's crazy though, because I think Midsummer might be longer. And like, I thought that that one was a little more spaced out. But like, I totally get it because there's plenty of like critically acclaimed movies or like independent films that I just like cannot do because they're
Yeah.
too slow or
Yeah.
boring. I'm like, I can't do it. I can't. But I love Ari Aster. Anything he makes, I'm like, I will buy 20 tickets.
Oh yeah, no, he's great. He
Yeah.
really is great. But just Hereditary couldn't get through. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
We'll get another chance for it one day.
I've tried twice. I'll try again. You know, maybe
Yeah.
2 times isn't enough.
Okay, so then I said, like, you looked so good in like your I don't know if it was for interview, but that photo shoot that you did with your hair like slick, you looked amazing. And I was wondering if you enjoyed photo shoots and like the press aspect of being an artist, because I know some people like hate interviews and photo shoots, but I was wondering your thoughts on it.
Okay, so I like interviews because I'm so annoying and kind of like talking about myself. I don't like photo shoots. I don't
No,
like photo shoots because I'm not comfortable in front of cameras. Like I'm just
no,
not.
that's fair.
I'm not,
Fair.
I'm not like a model. I'm not like that's not what I do. So it's just like I make music. So
Yeah,
there's a lot of like other things that come along with being an artist that are like super weird for me
yeah,
because it's not what I've like, been trained for. And like they're like, do like this with your body, like for like the high fashion ones, like high fashion shoots. You have to like contort your body and shit.
yeah.
And they just make you look kind of weird, which is like I understand it's like editorial,
Mm-hmm.
whatever, but like I'm like, I don't get it. Like, what do you want me to do? I don't like this. And
Yeah,
then
yeah,
and like, you just have to like make sure your posture's right, and you're like, I just, I don't like them. I don't like photo shoots. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't love them. Um, but
yeah. The posing is weird. It seems like a long day. Like
it's
it,
such a long day, and then they
yeah,
end up doing 2 photos
yeah.
that aren't even good of myself. Like I look bad in them because I can't even choose them. So I'm like,
Yeah,
I don't even freaking look good in that. Like, why?
that's what
Um,
I hate, not being able to pick.
Great photos. Like
Yeah,
photographers, most of the time that have taken my photos are like extremely talented, like obviously, but I just don't look good in them. So I'm like, fuck! I spent the whole day doing this. And I'm
well, you
freaking.
obviously do look good because they picked those ones because you look good, and I just said you looked good, and
No,
like
that photo is actually like
you
I
don't
don't
like
know
it.
myself at all.
Oh
That
no.
photo was great though. Like that's a good photo. I just do not like that photo of myself.
Yeah, no, I'm too picky. I would not be happy. I'd be like, I have to pick them. Like the fact that you can't pick is like, that's a little
Yeah.
too much control that I'm getting taken away.
Yeah.
Ooh, but yeah, no, I did not know that. And then, okay, and then to wrap up my questions, what is something good that has come out of quarantine for you personally? Because I know I'm very negative about it because I hate that I can't go to concerts, but I figured we'll have some positivity and like say something good. I don't know.
I will try. I think that there's been a lot of innovation that I think is like in the music, like the artist world. Like, I think that's gonna stick around for a while.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, one of those things is Zoom sessions. Unfortunately, because no
yeah,
one did that before. That was not a thing anyone ever did. That was
yeah,
like just not existent. But there's also been like, a lot more time, I think, for, people to reflect and kind of, you know, change the system a bit so that it's, more inclusive and
yeah,
kind of just more friendly. Um, because it's like been pretty fucked up for a while, I think.
yeah,
So I think I think that's something that a lot of people, like big companies, wouldn't have realized. Um, Without, because they're just like when it's not, they're just like kind of just like work, 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 and they're
yeah.
not focused on anything else. But kind of just being able to focus on that stuff, I think has been a great thing for the music industry,
Mhm.
and also just like not like I love traveling, but like I'd normally be traveling a
Yeah.
lot. Um, that's I think like I'd love to be traveling right now, to be quite honest with you, but I think it's also just like kind of, excuse you. I think it's sorry.
You
I
want
think
an
it's also,
interruption?
I think it's also just like kind of, you know, I feel like I've lost my train of thought. Thank you.
Yeah, I know what
Yeah,
you mean though.
not many great things have came out of it, but I think that that's like one pretty good, like very good thing
Yeah,
actually.
yeah.
But,
I mean, it's a little too much time to reflect for me, but I
oh, same.
it like if it was just like a month, it would have been like, wow, that was a great reset. Everyone, let's go back to normal. Like, but this is just like, okay, it's time to wrap it up. Like,
Yeah. I'm done. Thank you.
Yeah, it's just not it. So, yeah. But okay, so if you have any questions for me as like a fan or music industry student, whatever, feel free to ask them. Other than that, that's pretty much all I have. But if you have anything to say, let me know.
Um, so you said you're in, that's so loud. You said okay, so you said you're doing music management, or sorry, what did you say?
Music business.
Music business. What do you see yourself doing? Like, what do you want to do? Like,
So,
you
yeah,
know.
like, so my major is music industry, but I'm in like the business concentration. There's a tech concentration too for people who want to like produce and do like live sound, that kind of thing. But for me, I was definitely more of like, oh, I want to be a part of like developing new artists and helping them grow and succeed. So that's really like when I went in, I wanted to do tour management. Everyone
Yeah.
I talked to in tour management is like, it's like a really stressful job and like you don't have a personal life and like that kind of thing, which is something like I'm very career oriented, so that doesn't really phase me. But that being said, like I think that I would do better if I was in like artist development or creative like direction, that kind of thing. Like I can do whatever. I'll probably dabble in a lot of things, but I see myself definitely probably working at a label at some point and doing like artist development or maybe even A&R, that kind of thing.
Is there like any place, like what's your like dream, like spot like to work at? Like what is your ideal,
I mean, generally, like I just want to work for artists that I like, that I'm like passionate about, that I see being like successful and passionate and kind. Like I definitely value like kindness and
Yeah.
likability, like you were saying. But in terms of a label, like I have honestly, I would say Interscope, like just because I like I remember, I think like the main thing that got me into that was like when Billie Eilish got signed there, I started seeing like a lot more like about the label. I don't know if it was just because I was like a big fan of Billie and but like I would see people who worked there, like her management, like I started talking to her managers at shows and things. I
Yeah.
started talking to like people from Interscope when they were at like showcases that she did or like other events. Like or when I was at festivals, I would see people and I started to just like recognize the people from Interscope. And I
Yeah.
was like, wow, they're all so cool. And I would
Yeah.
love to like be involved in like a company like that because a lot of labels are very like kind of corrupt in some ways. But I feel like Interscope is very like just cool and relevant and they stay like they know how to develop new artists, which is something that I want to do. So I guess I would say them if I had to pick like a label, but otherwise like I'll just work with anyone if I like them. Like so that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any other questions?
Um,
It's okay if you don't have any more.
I don't know for now.
Yeah, that's perfectly fine.
I'm really bad at asking questions.
No,
Like,
that's fine. Like I like don't warn people like what the outline is. So like if they can't think of questions on the spot, like I'm not gonna get mad that they
yeah.
can't like think of questions. So no worries about that.
Yeah.
Um so now if you have any current favorite songs or albums or artists like that you've been listening to in the past couple weeks, just like on repeat, let me know.
Yes, I need to check my phone so that.
No problem.
Um, um, okay, so like, do you know Always?
Hmm.
So like Toronto or Canadian. I've been listening to them for a while, but like a little more now.
Yeah.
Uh, Love them. Sir Chloe, like I don't know where she came from, but like I really like her.
Yeah.
I think she's really cool. Um, who else?
Well, and Beat the Doobie just put her album out.
Oh yeah.
I'm sure you're listening to that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. I'm so out of it. Um,
I know it
yeah,
just came out. I'm like, it literally
yeah.
like,
But I've been like following the entire process of
oh yeah.
like
I am obsessed with her speaking voice. Like
so
her voice is so pretty.
she's
And like
just so cute.
I know. Oh, love her. Hi
She's
Beat
so,
the Doobie if you're listening to this.
hi Beatrice. She's
Yeah,
making the
she's just so cute. Uh
uh, I love her. I literally am such a whore for her. Like I'm always like beep 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 beep, and everyone's
God,
like
you guys would be like a cute like friend like pair. Like I could totally see like pictures of you two like
A
hanging out.
dream that would be.
Yeah,
What a dream that would be.
she's so cool.
Yeah,
But yeah,
everything she does, I love.
I
I've
think
loved her for so long. So
yeah, and so if you're if the listeners are wondering about my current favorites, because I always say like I feel like I'm always listening to something new every week, like on repeat, because I like to drill things into the ground until I'm tired of it.
yeah,
So it's always something new.
yeah.
But I think this week, like I don't know, I've been listening to like The Cure a lot this week. I love The Cure. And then my favorite album, Sasha Sloan just released like their album Only Child, which I love. I love her songwriting and her voice is really pretty.
Yeah, she's like
So
exceptional.
love her. I saw her at Lollapalooza. She was great.
Yeah.
So her definitely. And then I think artist right now, like favorite artist, I don't like I can't think of anyone new that I've been listening to, but like I'm on a Glass Animals kick because I was doing like an event for my school and Dave from Glass Animals was there and you could ask questions and things and they called on me. I was so nervous. I was like, "Oh my God, like I'm scared." But I got to ask him about like Dreamland and like the production
Yeah.
process for like some of the songs and like that was really sick and it made me like and he's so cool. Like he was just so nice. And so I it made me want to listen to Glass Animals like all the time because I was like
Oh, exactly. See, there it is.
that's it. Oh my God. Yeah, so
So dope.
definitely true. But I've loved Glass Animals for a while, but I've just been listening to like a lot of their covers and things. Like his voice is just so
Yeah.
pretty. Like I love it. Um so yeah, that's pretty much it for me.
I
Uh
know.
If
I
you'd
love.
like to plug your social media and music, like now is the time.
I'm Renforshort on everything except for TikTok, which you probably don't want to even see. Um, so I'm just gonna leave that there. Renforshort on everything. I just put a new song out on Wednesday or a week ago today. Um, stay tuned for more stuff.
Yes.
I will definitely be doing that.
Yes. If you haven't listened to Ren, why you should be listening to Ren. Like, so go do that. And with that being said, this has been another episode of Both Sides of the Barricade. It's Both Sides of the Barricade on Instagram at BSOTB Pod on Twitter, the acronym then pod. And then you can subscribe to us on YouTube too. My Instagram and Twitter is JTaylorLDR. And this episode is available on Spotify and iTunes. You can watch it on YouTube. Follow, subscribe, like, download, rate, comment, all of that. And thank you so much for listening. Thank you, Ren, for being on. This was so fun. I hope you enjoyed it.
My
Thank you
first.
so much.
Thank you.
Your first podcast?
Yeah,
Wow,
ever.
I'm honored. Okay. Thank you so much then.
I know.
Um, so we'll see you guys in the next episode. Have a good week. Bye.